Hey, journeymen, journeywomen. This is Hero's Journey with Dr. D. Here to inspire, to encourage, to motivate, to educate, and helping you get beyond your first move and creating a better mindset today. Today, you know what it is? This is a Heroes Update Live with Dr. D. And what we're doing today, we do the three parts. We do a recap, we do an update, and we do a Q&A. And if everybody hear me clearly, give me a thumbs up in the chat section, so I'll have to make any modification coming in on this. And you're here for the replay. This is me just talking, but let's go into it. The video that we was talking about this. We were talking about this previous week was expectations versus reality. Yeah, expectation versus reality. So what we talked about on the video this week was expectation versus reality. How often have you had expectations, expecting something out of somebody, someone, something, and it never came to fruition? It never came to fruition. How often have you had these expectations, something that you really wanted, and you never had a chance to get it? Or you had failed expectations because you wished and you wanted for something, you had a great desire, but it never came to be. Well, this week on Here's Journey with Dr. D, on our video, what we talked about was expectation versus reality, because sometimes people don't actually take into account the reality of situations. Just because things are in our mind don't mean they're going to be. We can manifest things to be, but even the good book says faith without works is dead, being alone. We can believe a lot of different things, but if we don't put any action behind our belief, then how do you really expect it to come to be? And some things you have to put action behind. You can believe in they will come, however, but would one say that thing is connected to your purpose? But then another person will say, well, what is my purpose? That's for you to find out. However, but for the video, what we talked about, I talked about three areas. I talked about expectations, imagination. I talked about expectation of others. And I talked about expectations from past experiences, past people, past hurts. So first, your imagination. When you talk about expectation and imagination, sometimes you think it's something that you want, it's someone that you want, and you imagine that you're going to be in a better situation, and you imagine that you're going to get better things. But you have not taken any action to put your imagination to work. I don't think there's anything wrong with having a great imagination. I don't think there's anything wrong with having imagination, because I have a great imagination. You need to think of things outside of the box, things that are bigger than you, things that cause you to drive to a specific purpose in life. I agree with that wholeheartedly. But you can't expect everything to happen, and all you're doing is every week is a Netflix night. Every day is a Netflix night. You're doing 3 or 4 series back to back. There's no action behind that imagination. I believe your imagination is God's way of telling you what he wants you to create. However, I believe after a while he gets tired of drawing and he goes somebody else, because obviously he's writing in vain, because you're not doing anything to make that imagination manifest into reality. See, that's the reality you can depend on, reality that you put into effect. Because when you put one thing in effect, things come together. All right, that's imagination. Now, a lot of people place their expectations on others. Boy, I sure would like to have that Bugatti. Boy, I sure would like to have that nice house. Boy, I sure would like to have that promotion. First of all, you don't work and you're not trying to look for a job. You're not even trying to sell candy on the side of the road. You're not trying to sell pens. You're not trying to make it happen. It's not necessarily about having the 9 to 5. but it's having the will to make things happen and have a drive to work. I don't think it's everybody's destiny to work a job, but it's everybody's destination to work. And that's your opinion on others people's lives. You don't live their lives, live yours. Find your purpose, find your passion, embrace that thing, and go forward. Go toward that passion. And then I believe this wholeheartedly, that when you go towards your passion, when you embrace that passion, I believe God will shed light on it. Even in the midst of pain, your pain will hurt a little bit less when you're creating something that you're passionate about. So that's others. Now, hurt, past. A lot of times people are living in the past. They're living in the past, so therefore they'll never promote themselves to a good future. Because they're not thinking about the future. They're thinking about the past. They are thinking about past accomplishments and past hurts. And as long as you stay in past hurts and past accomplishments, you're living in that past, and you're thinking that your past is going to be your future. But in reality, your past becomes your future. It may be with a different person, at a different job, a different situation, but it becomes your future. And that's in the bad thing, but also in the good thing, it becomes your future, but it doesn't become it to the magnitude you expect it to become. Because you can be thinking about, I could be thinking about, oh, I got a PhD, so what? Don't mean anything. How am I progressing? How am I pushing forward? How am I utilizing what I have to get where I need to go? It always should be another accomplishment that we're trying to accomplish before we end this trail of life. Because it's all about leaving a destiny within our purpose. But if you stay stuck in the past, thank you. It almost stays stuck in the past. You'll never accomplish it. You'll never go further. So there's three things: imagination, others, and past. So expectation. If you're stuck in those areas, you'll never promote yourself. You'll never get further into reality, even to a reality that you make, because you're not making a reality. All right. So that is my recap. My recap. Now my update. This is my update. That's part one. Oh, we will address that, Paula. While my update, my recap, I'll explain my recap. Now my update is that this week I'll be doing a video. I'll be doing a video on one or two things. I'm going to do a video on mask. The mask that we live in. Is it real or is it fake? Or I'll be doing one on personality traits. I'm still deliberating between those two. But in any case, it'll be up this weekend. And then we can comment on those. So that's my update. Now my Q&A. Now I'm opening up for Q&A, but let me adjust my chat right now. I have two guests with me, and they may be expedited out of the office if they don't act accordingly. These are my sidekicks. All right. Keep it down. Paula said that. How do you have the expectations, expecting things to be better than they actually are? If that is the question, you only can accept things as they are, and you can look for positive ends. And you're doing all the right things. You're doing all the right things, keeping a better mindset. Creating a better mindset today. Half the battle is your mentality. Because if you don't have a good mindset to keep something straight, then you just float away. And you do have Paula. Paula said, "I have the creation, the imagination, and determination." And you do. I agree totally. Okay, and then Phil said he has questions about expectations. Go ahead, Phil. All right, Phil. Phil says that. Okay. All right. Getting PO. Paula, don't create any violence. I was reading that. Don't. Yeah, yeah, create any violence. All right. So Phil said, "How do you draw?" All right. Phil, I'm trying to get you to come up. She show up. You show. Okay, here we go. Phil says, how do you draw the line between imagination and taking things too far? That's a good question. How do you draw the line between imagination and taking things too far? Did any of my sidekicks want to respond to that?
Yes, I do. What was the question? How do you draw the line between imagination?
Don't be simple. Go ahead.
I need the marker,
No.
Okay. We have this board, and this is an imaginary line. You have imagination. Get the marker.
No.
It's right there on top of the thing.
Here you go, sir. Hey!
Sorry. So we have a line, and we have I for imagination and R for reading. You get to work. You put the work toward it. Like, hey, I wanna get my own YouTube. I'm probably writing this backwards. Yeah, you probably can't see it. You just gotta work to it. Gotta put work to it, and don't sit on the couch eating popcorn, hoping this game movie dog's gonna fly from the sky. I wish that would happen. I'd be like, so this shit happened, but it doesn't happen.
All right, Syringe, you have to respond? Okay, let me respond. All right, good job, Praise. Good job.
Thank you.
All right, so how do you draw the line between imagination and taking things too far?
Oh, I know actually.
No? Yeah, you said your 2 cents. That's good. You did good. Oh, the light went out. All right, so okay, the question was how do you draw the line between imagination and taking things too far? First off, you have to know how. It's your imagination. And you have to assess what's around you. You have to look at the pros and cons of what you're trying to accomplish and who it affects. First, how it affects you, and how does it affect your well-being? If it affects your living situation, it affects your living situation, it affects the ones that you love. However, first thing you need to do is put it on paper. See, a lot of things become combobulated in your mind if you're just thinking things in your mind. But that's why it's a very good idea to put things on paper, because when you start putting things on paper, it becomes real. You make the intangible tangible. That's why journaling is very important, because a lot of times we deal with things in our head. All thoughts are roaming through our head all the time. But the goal is to take what's coming through our head and put it on paper and decipher the things that we want to keep. Like I said before, you can have thoughts rolling through your head all day, but you don't have to make resonance for the things that are creating the bad version of yourself. You can keep the good, eat the meat, spit out the bones. So your imagination is up to you. It's malleable, meaning that you can create what you want to create, but you need to put it on paper and see the pros and cons and construct your destiny. Now, if you don't take the time to construct what's in your head, then it's going to flee. It's going to go away. However, but you know who's going to take advantage of that? The media, the advertisers. They're going to repetitively stick things in your head, in your mind, and they're going to keep clicking it in, so you can't help but to remember what they're teaching you, because they're putting more time, they're putting more emphasis of embedding their program in your mind than you do in your own. See, they're more invested in you because you affect the bottom line. You make them money. That's the same reason why cigarette companies, they don't wait till you turn 25, 19 2019 to invest in advertising. Why Joe Campbell was not out of the advertising arena is because the market was not on 19 or 20 years. It was on 10, 11, 12-year-olds. You have to understand that in our society, in America, that we have a cap on people to smoke cigarettes, but you could be in Barbados and you be 10 years old smoking cigarettes. So they're marketing to the world, and they're calculating the dollar amount, how much can they make in a lifespan of a person. If I can get you addicted to cigarettes at 10 years old, I'm make $1 billion off of it. So they're investing in the bottom line, how much money you can make them. Don't let somebody else invest in their bottom line from your life. Why don't you do it? All right, Paula said, okay, I answered. Let me take Phil off. Paula said, take a thing too far, ask someone. She said, ask someone. That's the response to Phil. Paula said, I like things. I like what you. Let me put it on air. Paula said, I like what you're saying about writing things out. Sometimes seeing things in black and white makes things a bit clear. It makes it real. How do you live how does a person make themselves immortal? For the most part, this is metaphorical. I'm not talking about taking no serum and becoming immortal, like the what they call the
Captain America.
Captain America.
No, he's not immortal.
Why?
He just got stuck.
Hulk.
Thor.
Yeah, like Thor.
No, he was
Yeah,
born
I'm
like
not-
that. He
Yeah.
was a Greek god, and he was
Thor's
born
Norse.
like
One person at a time.
that. Thor is a Viking, and he was not born like that. But people who take serum, they try to become and not be.
Right,
Then
but
they go crazy and introduce some crazy serums and end up on the streets.
right, but okay, no, but like, what they're saying. All right, calm down, y'all. Now, what they're saying is that like Thor's immortal. But my point was that people write literature because a person, Edgar Allan Poe, he's been dead for many years, but you know who he is. I mean, Shelley, she's gone because her words live beyond her. Her words tell her story. She put it on paper, put life to it. So while they put life to it, we can imagine it while they're gone. Why not put your life on paper so you can actually revisit it and see what you've done and see how you can modify your actions so you can redirect what you're doing for a better alternative. See, every action has reaction, cause and effect. So if you act a certain way, a response is going to happen. It's a statement. I'm just so everybody can hear. I created. Paula says she creates a lot of art. Not everything looks as good in reality as it did in imagination. Sometimes it's a hit or miss. That's true. But you get it out though. Some people make angry art, but they on paper or on canvas, and they get it out because we have some frustrations that we need to get out. And so art is a good way to get it out. I tell my kids a list when things start looking at, get a second opinion. That's right. Do a list. They get a second. Yes.
Where do you do questions and answers?
Praise.
So like at the beginning of this moral was like this moral?
The beginning of this moral was to tell people to
Oh, let's begin this moral. Effect, answer, cause and effect. Well, whatever the beginning of this moral.
The beginning of the moral is to reality versus expectations, and because that there's people on this call asking, they're saying what their expectation is, but in reality, this is what it comes out to.
Shrink, get in the camera.
And
Shrink, get in the camera.
yes,
Shrink, you should be able to see yourself.
So what I was gonna say is affect the reality. A lot of kids, just like me, be like Michael Jordan. I want to be like Tom Brady. You know what that is.
Go ahead.
So some people want to be like Michael Jordan. They think they can fly. They go to the Great Pyramid. Don't even put on a what do you call it?
Parachute.
Yeah, parachute. That's the cause is Michael Jordan dunking. The effect is you falling, breaking a couple ribs. Cause effect.
Okay. All right. Good job, Praise.
Does anybody have any more questions?
I know I'm answering this question.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, listen, y'all. All right. That's talk about reciprocity. That's going too far. That's going too far. Things I keep things stalking materials to run it by a partial party. Well, Phil, that you respond to things. Explain reciprocity. Reciprocity. You give because you want something in return. Okay. That's transactional. Reciprocity meaning that if you're giving because you want something in return, are you really giving out of your heart, or you're just giving in response to getting something back? I believe that you get the most things. You get the most intrinsic things if you give from the nature of wanting to give. You get a feeling that that money cannot buy. You get a feeling you cannot. If you're always thinking that you have to receive something based on what you give, other than a thank you. Everything is pretty transactional, and what happens is that when you expect something every time you give, and the person doesn't meet your expectations, oh, you pretty ticked off. Oh yeah, you pretty ticked off because you're expecting the person to be you. No, I think a good model is that don't give what you cannot afford to lose, because if you don't give what you cannot afford to lose, then you have expectations. If you take your expectations there, then it's right, and they give you something back. Oh, that's extra. That's extra. That extra. All right. So that's yeah. So I think it's pretty much based on you giving what you give out of a heart. You get out of a want to, not out of, well, if I do this, because you're calculating. It's almost like if I do this, they should, and you may give a whole bunch, and then they don't get nothing back. Oh, you're gonna be hot, and they thought that you were doing it out the goodness of your heart, not. Paula says she should have learned that one 18 months ago. Yeah, when you take expectations off, you take a lot of weight off. You take a lot of weight off, because don't do it if you're expecting something. Now, some things are transactional, but everything shouldn't be. In a close-knit relationship, the person, and don't expect anything back. If they get something back, that actually says something about them, and you may have a dog, and that's good. Anything about anything from them, then you're fine. You're fine. I believe that. That's just my thought. That's Dr. D talking. Okay. Okay. And Serene, you want to say something about it? You get me a question. Are you talking to me?
What? The question that people were asking. What was the question that everyone was asking? Sir, I was gonna give my.
Okay. All right.
Wait, what was the question?
I have another question.
Oh, yay.
All right, great. All right. Sit down. Okay, I have not signed my name on to repeat what you just said about a relationship. So, Phil, you saying repeat what I said about relationship, meaning that what I said about relationship, something transactional. I said that if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're always expecting, I do this, you do this for me, and they don't come through, you're going to be upset because you're always expecting something back based on a quote unquote good deed. If it's a good way, I think love is in love that you really just give it away with nothing expected. So when somebody gives you something back, then you say, don't have to, because you really didn't expect anything back. It's nice to get something back, but when you don't get nothing back, oh, you hot. You hot. So I've had that situation. That's why I said previously that I think no. I said that in your internal than your external, because you can be swayed by the external, but if you control your internal, then you can evaluate your responses. I had a response about a friend, and I probably told Paula, about it, and I expected him to help me. Well, he was going to help me with something that was very big for me, and I was expecting something great. Yes, because he had all the tools to help me, and he was to be effective, and he was efficient. Because I seen him in action, so I knew that he'd be good helping me. Yeah, until every time I asked him, I couldn't catch him. I couldn't get him. And then my expectations kept building up, and I said, well, he said such and such. Maybe he said he's going to help. He said he's going to help. But they said they're going to help. And then when they didn't help, I started feeling away. Now, I don't feel some type of way because it's affecting who I am. So, but I don't keep it in. I try not to. So I realized that it was affecting my internal. Then, since the person is a friend of mine, I told them. And they received it. I don't know if it changed, but they received it. But when I told them, that's why I just took my expectations off of him. And then we still friends. Because if I kept those expectations on them, I'll still be living in the past. I have expectation that he should have came through and why he didn't come through. And my mind would create a narrative that would have made it good for me and would affect people outside of me, would affect me, my core. So Paula said it goes along with getting those expectations agreed to beforehand. Yeah, and that's what I told you before, Paula. Yeah, when you have, this is to address what Paula said about relationships and things having something etched out before you do something. If you addressing somebody with something, right, and people abuse your time if you don't tell them that this is my time frame. People will take advantage of you if you don't tell them at the very beginning that this is what I'm going to do. I tell everybody your voice is important, but if you don't say anything, the other person think that you don't care. They only consume what you say, unless they know you. They know your thoughts, but they don't know your thoughts. How they gonna know? So that's why it's good to you let them know ahead of time. And sometimes people get selective amnesia. Did you remind them? Say, remember what I said at the very beginning? Oh, and you agreed to it. Remember? Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. No, a lot of people like to push the envelope to see what they can get. A lot of people like to push the envelope to see what they can get. But it's your job to preserve yourself, because you only got one person. That's you. You, right? Right. Just you.
Yeah.
Right.
Until you go to heaven.
Yeah, man. We don't want one person. Yeah. Me.
Flesh.
Yeah. Flesh, right? The flesh. You see the head? The head. All right, okay, calm down. All right, okay. Okay. That's pretty good. Okay, all hearts and minds clear. Did you want to wrap up? Do you understand in context? No, yes.
What is that?
Yes. Or expectations versus reality. All right. So, with all that being said, we're gonna wrap up. We wrap up tonight. This is I appreciate everybody coming out. All good. Okay. I appreciate everybody coming out and actually participating in this dialogue. And this is a hero's journey with my sidekicks. This is a Serene Justice. It's a nice praise. This hero's journey with Dr. D, here to inspire, to encourage, to motivate, educate, helping you get beyond your first move, creating a better mindset today. And if if you find any value in this content, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up and help me help you so we can help others. And so by clicking subscribe and hitting the bell for future notifications, what you do is you help climb with me and with us. And so we try to make it better tomorrow, today. So this is a hero journey with Dr. D. Anais No.
Whoa! I don't like that now. I don't.
Okay. Anais Praise and Serene Justice. And we are out. And if you need any more information about me and my services at A Hero's Journey with Dr. D or A Hero's Journey Incorporated, look down below at aheroseeks.org and see if we can help you to go a little further or to get beyond your first move. And if you forget anything else, don't forget this. When you get a vertigo every morning, make it your goal in life to always look forward and never move back. And remember that you are important. I think so. You should too. This is A Hero's Journey with Dr. D. And remember, we have videos up top. Just look up top and click on. And you should be able to see something else that may catch your attention, may help you through a slump or a hole. Our goal is to lift you up and move you forward. This is A Hero's Journey with Dr. D. We out.